Let me make sure that I'm filming, man. This for me is historic, man, and I'm truly grateful, man. I got the brother of Bobby Lavender right here with Clardy Clay. Brother, tell us your name, man.
My name is Jimmy Lavender.
Man, and the Lavender family is the one that is credited with starting the Bishops. Were they the Eastside Bishops, as Clardy told me?
Yeah, we were Eastside Bishops.
All right. And so wasn't no streets attack? Wasn't the 88th Street, 9
No,
dudes, none of that?
everything over here was straight Eastside Bishop.
Right.
Later we became 9 Deuce Block and
Wall and all that.
yeah, but it's all originally
That's
Eastside
like
Bishops over
separation,
here.
really, when you start doing that.
So give me a little something about your brother, man. You know, Cynthia Nunn talks about him a lot. You know, a lot of love and respect. Baba Louie does as well. You know, so is there anything that that you could tell us maybe that we don't know already about your brother, man?
There's a lot I can tell you about my brother. I'll tell you this much about Bobby, and I said it on CalMac videos. If you can't get out of an ass whooping with Bobby Lavender, that's just sad.
Oh, so you could talk your way out of it.
Oh yeah, Bobby.
Soft-spoken, yeah.
Look, Bobby wasn't about hurting people. We caught some Crips. There's about 30 of us. We caught like 3 Crips coming out of a pizza place. By the time they looked up, it was too late. It was too late. We walked up to him, and Bobby asked him, "Where y'all from?" I like the fact that they said we're Crips, but we don't have no problem with Bishops. Bobby asked, "What Crips y'all from?" They told him. Bobby turned around and addressed all of us. He said, "Do we have a problem with these Crips?" Nobody said nothing. Bobby extended his hand out to them and then said, "Well, we don't have no problem against y'all." Now, listen, Skip. There ain't a leader on the east side, be Crip, be villains, be outlaws, be bounty hunters that I don't know. But if you came up to anybody, I'd rather be caught by Bobby Lavender than anybody else because I know I can get out of an ass whooping with Bobby.
And that's something, man. That's something that I didn't know.
Oh, man.
And I appreciate
Bobby
that.
wasn't really a troublemaker that I know of.
No, Bobby wasn't no troublemaker. You can get out of. He wasn't a gun person. He wasn't. Bobby wasn't what we would call a gang banger. Bobby wasn't a gang banger.
Gang leader.
Yeah, he was a leader of the entire Bishop gang. You know, when we had meetings, whether you come from the Pebbles, whether you come from the West Side, whether you come from Compton, when we had our meeting.
Where were the West Side Bishops at?
What they call the 60s to today, around High Park, from 2nd Avenue to Crenshaw, from Florence to Slauson. Those was our West Side Bishops, ran by Lucky, Bad News, and Big Ducky.
Bad News, is that Mark?
That's Mark. That's my boy Mark.
Oh, is that right?
That's my boy Mark. We still buddies today, man.
Yeah, me and Mark is buddies today too, man.
Mark's
I
a
didn't
good
know
dude.
that. Yes,
Mark,
indeed.
Soft-spoken.
Yes, indeed.
Good guy. Hey, Mark is, I said in my video, if it came down to having somebody that would watch my back, I said, give me Bad News.
Right.
And I'll tell you why I said that. Because when you come up in things such as martial arts, trained fighters, then you know not to leave your post. And as bishops, a lot of times we were surrounded and had to fight our way out of it. It's, you get guys like, take Ghost or Fanatic. If they hit a person and that person's falling back, they gonna try to put their hands on him and finish him off. Well, when you do that, that means what? You left my back open.
Right, exactly.
But when you're a trained fighter, then you know not to leave your post. And that's why I said, give me Bad News. He's a trained fighter.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
That's very powerful, man. So you guys grew up together right here?
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. How long is this, man? Is this over 50 years or 60 years?
We got 50 years in.
Junior.
50.
Junior high. So what, y'all went to Drew? Y'all went to Drew Junior High?
We went to Drew Junior High, and Clardy got with us actually in 1969 at Drew. We got there in 67, but he was in the homeroom with Dino, and then Dino brought him into our circle.
All right.
And then, and we took over Drew.
All right.
We was harder than the 9th grade and 8th grade.
Yeah, we was the hardest.
They didn't like that.
We used to, hey Skip, we used to get balloons And Bobby and their crew was so-called running the school in '69 because we came out in the '70s. We get balloons and we straight rush Bobby and them with them.
Oh, okay.
Straight rush them. Water balloon fight at Drew campus. But the ghetto boys, the young avenues, they all had to submit that the guys over here that was running the
Come
school.
across the tracks.
No, you can't come across the track. I'll tell you something else, Skip.
Can't come across the track.
No, you can't. Not without the
You gotta have
proper
permission.
You gotta have the right permission.
Oh, ain't that
Now,
something?
people who came over here with popular people like when Sherry Ernest brought Steve over here.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, who is Steve?
he was a only child, pretty boy, brown eyes, big fro, like one of the finest girls in the neighborhood. And her family was popular, but they didn't have the juice card to give him a pass to come over here. And down there got that boy killed.
Okay.
So you just can't let anybody just can't give you no card to come over here.
Right.
And let me say this. I want to clear something up real quick, Skip. Can I have a minute?
You got a minute, brother.
Okay, listen. Before, this neighborhood was called the Beach Boys. And I'm sick of people calling Space Ghost a Beach Boy. Space Ghost always wrote 90/2 on the wall back in the days. And when we started the Eastside Bishops over here, Ghost, about a month or so later, started writing 90/2 on the wall. And then all of us who hung on 92nd and Beach followed that, and we started calling ourselves the 92 Bishops. So it was actually Ghost League. So, but when people talk about Ghost being a Beach Boy, you never hear and never heard Ghost one time call himself a Beach Boy. Never did. There was only a few of us because when Beach Boys started to break up, I was about 12 or 13 years old myself. That was children then.
Right.
And I was just a little so-called baby Beach Boy.
Y'all talking about in the 60s.
Yeah. So anybody on this side of the tracks was considered a Beach Boy. But you don't hear James Carlisle or any of those guys calling themselves Beach Boys. But when something went down, from those tracks, ground tracks and Alameda tracks, from Nader, which is 79th Street, to 97th Street, when something went down, it involved this whole neighborhood because we all was one and one for all.
That's right. That's right, man. I feel like I've been laced with a whole bunch of history, man. I appreciate you, Clardy Clay, man, making the time for me. I'm so grateful that you just happened to come up, brother. If not for that, man, I would have damn sure missed that, about your brother, man, being able to, somebody being able to talk their way out of an ass whooping, man.
Politician, yeah.
Like and what I heard was politician type shit where he turned around and said, hey, we got a problem with them? And they say no, okay, we ain't got a problem with y'all. That's that, man. That's some good shit right there, man.
That was Bobby, man. Look, Bobby was a martial artist, and we all was considered as top of the top fighters. We go anywhere, everybody knew us. And I heard Clardy speak on the record house, but what he didn't speak on was Bobby. The record house started at 8 o'clock, and they over at 11, and they were called Tom Cross. So you had the, KGFJ, the DJs up there spinning the records. So Bobby tell the whole neighborhood, look, man, at 10 o'clock, y'all all line up behind the crib. The party's over with. At 10 o'clock, we lined up behind the crib and we let them have it. Now, let me say this quick, Skip. I know you got to go pretty soon. But listen, what happened was Bobby, Big Ed, RB, got ran home from Sportsman Park. And Bobby came back and said the West Side Crips was trying to get him. And after listening to Cal Mack, I didn't know that there was a Sportsman Park boy. And there was a difference between them and the West Side Crips. So we didn't know that over because we don't go on the West Side.
Right.
So I now question, was it the Sportsman Park boys that was trying to get him, or was it the West Side Crips? Bobby said it was the West Side Crips. So the next month, the record house is going to be at Roosevelt Park, our hood, and Eastside Crips. So Raymond wasn't in there with his boys, so 10 o'clock came, and we lined up behind the Eastside Crips to retaliate for them trying to get Bobby.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, I don't know if I bring this up again, but that's when it led to the fight outside with number one and half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You're right.
That's crazy.
That's
So he'll get you.
what happened was, I'll say it again, and I wasn't trying to make Raymond sound like But let me say this, because a lot of you got angry with me about this. I wasn't trying to make it sound like Raymond was a poop butt, but Raymond showed leadership skills that day. We had just beat his guys down inside the gym. Most of them was a bloody mess and running. So they ran to Raymond, and Raymond looked, Clardy Clay, Crazy Al, the Lavender brothers, Caveman, Fanatic, Pookie, soldiers.
Right.
And he didn't have any of his real soldiers with him, number one, but he had number one with him. So number one didn't like the fact that Raymond was actually trying to spare himself as well as
Right.
his soldiers. They couldn't beat us, and he knew that. So Raymond said, he talking to Bobby, and Bobby ain't listening. Our guys want to finish these guys off. So number one, not liking that, so number one says, I'll fight any bishop head up. And Crazy Al said, he stuttered. He said, and you know, big orange, chest all, hairy chest. He said, I fight you. Boy, he whooped. And they all out here now. My job is to watch the crowd, because we're on the track. They got rocks and the whole 9 yards. So I'm watching them. And all I heard was boom, 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 boom. Number one was down. And Al jumped on the back of his back and was rubbing his face in the rocks, and he was down. You number two. you number two.
Man.
Now, I know Daryl's in Vegas, and I got love for Daryl. He's my boy.
So that's who number one is, Daryl?
Yeah, no one's
Okay.
Daryl.
All right. Well, shout out to him, man. That's part of history, man. So appreciate you bringing it up and talking about it, because, you know, people want to know this, man. You know, people want to know, man. And a lot that you talk about your brother, man, a lot of people, I'm sure, didn't know.
And here's the thing, Skip. I heard Clardy mention it. He mentioned Icky and number one.
Yeah.
And Raymond and the Hunchos. And, you know, we all go back to way back, playing ball together as kids in Roosevelt Park. So we didn't fight each other.
Right.
The bishop leadership did not fight the Crip leadership.
Right.
You know, I mean, so I've always asked, if we're not fighting each other, why y'all fighting each other?
Right.
So, but we not gonna fight Huncho and Head Huncho, and those guys are more like, I go by there and speak to their moms. Wayne, they know where we live at.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so
I love Betty Day, man.
oh man.
Yeah, I love
Ain't she
Betty
sweet?
Day. Yeah, she is, man.
she sweet?
I would tell Huncho back in the days, man, you put any one finger on me, I'm gonna tell your mama.
that was the person to go to.
Right, that's the
As a
go-to
matter
person.
Of fact, that old 57 Chevy wraparound truck I had,
Oh, okay.
I got that from their Uncle Floyd.
Oh, okay.
So it
All
just
right.
goes to show you how closely we was all really netted.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. But look, man, I appreciate both of y'all, man. Thank you, Clardy Clay, for coming out. Thank you, my brother, for giving me all the Lavender history, man. And especially that fight with number one and all that. Yeah. So, man, I appreciate
showing
you.
up, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man.
Skip, peace be with you, brother.
Peace be with you.
All the time.
Yes, indeed.